This campaign is for you. This fight for change is for you. And the power of the vote belongs to you.
I'm offering hope. We can be better.
Because when you threaten the establishment, they don't exactly come out with a tray of gin and tonics, now do they?
The political parties have made their pitch to the people. After PM Rishi Sunak called a snap election of May, 6 weeks of campaigning is now over and the choice is left with the voters of the UK. The polls have Labor, led by Sir Keir Starmer, well ahead. They've spent the last 14 years in the wilderness of opposition. Then there's Nigel Farage and his populist Reform Party. They've been polling well, but analysts here say the way the UK voting system works will make it hard for them to pick up the swathes of seats they've been hoping for. Then there's the Conservatives, led by Rishi Sunak, who's been their fifth leader in the 14 years of government. The polls say they'll lose, but how much by is the big question. And then there's the Liberal Democrats, led by Ed Davey, who are hoping to overtake the Conservatives in the House of Commons in this grand old parliament behind me.
YouGov polling shows cost of living is by far the most important issue to voters this election, with almost half the electorate listing it as top of mind when they go to the polls.
Realising something that cost like, I don't know, £1 now costs £1.60, and because you're buying it every day, it starts to build up, you know. So, yeah, I'm glad that the politicians are talking about cost of living. Whether they're going to actually do something about it is another thing.
The UK's inflation rate hit 11% in 2022, the highest rate for 40 years. And while it's since slowed to 2%, that doesn't mean the prices of goods are dropping. They're now just not rising as quickly as they were.
It has been really challenging because everything became more expensive. So you just couldn't catch a break anywhere.
If you go food shop, everything is high. Other day I went shopping, it was like if we spend before £30, my weekly budget is okay. But nowadays, I found that it's more than 70.
When I was a kid, no one really had money, but we all made do, do you know what I mean? But like, because of, you don't see prices creeping up and you don't see this and that and the other coming around the corner. So yeah, things are a lot worse now. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I have to work like 6 days a week now. I'm still like catching up, do you know what I mean?
The Lib Dems, the Tories, Reform and Labor have all made housing a key part of their policy platform, and it was front of mind to the voters we spoke to.
I've had to get a friend to move in with me just to be able to afford what I used to be able to afford on my own. I'm just worried it's going to get a lot worse and I'm going to have to find somewhere else, which I might not be able to afford.
According to the Office for National Statistics in the UK, average monthly rent hit about $2,400 in England, an 8.8% increase in just 1 year. In Scotland, they rose by 10.9%, an average of roughly $1,800, and in Wales by 9% to around $1,400. It's the highest annual increase since the figures were first recorded in 2015. Similar increases were also reported in Northern Ireland, but over a different time period.
You mentioned your kids. Does it worry you in terms of the exorbitant cost of housing? And
absolutely. Yeah, housing is just, if you want to live in London, it's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. So how do they get started? Well, they'll probably get started with a little help from me.
1.2 million people immigrated to the UK last year, and Nigel Farage and the Reform Party believe that's too many. It's proposing a complete freeze on non-essential immigration. The Conservatives and Rishi Sunak have a slogan that will be familiar to many Australians. They're pledging to stop the boats, and Labor has also promised it wants to reduce net migration.
We've got an immigration problem, I think, in Britain. Quite how the Reform Party is going to do that. It's very easy to say you're going to sort something out when you're not going to be sorting it out, isn't it?
What I can say, because I'm an immigrant as well, you know, so I don't know why they're making big issue for that, because before, I would say especially London, it was a multicultural, nobody mind nothing, you know, immigrant people coming.
They're using immigrants as a scapegoat, because that's the easiest thing for the public to to go up in arms about, you know what I mean? But it's not the problem. If anything, immigration is the only thing that actually saves UK.
Those are some of the issues facing voters this election. Now the big question is who they'll vote for. The people we spoke to weren't really enthusiastic about any candidate.
It feels like we've got a choice of the best of the bad bunch, to be honest. So I'm not really sure who I'm going to vote for.
In trying times, at least the Brits' sense of humour is as strong as ever.
It's all rubbish. It's all wind and piss as far as I'm concerned. You know, it's just like, I've got no idea what their policies are, what they're talking about, because nothing ever changes. Do you know what I mean? Seriously, bruv. I mean, you put another dickhead in charge, yeah, with a great smiley face when he's won, like, brilliant. But halfway through the year, we're back to piss poor again. Do you know what I mean? Seriously, bruv. You know, honestly, it's a joke. So, like I said, you see the AI lot, yeah, who want to win the votes? Get the AI lot to run the country. Seriously. All right, bruv.